Hey guys, this is Devin here with Hillbilly Networks. Today, I want to make an intro video to my closure build videos because I know I missed some things on there, and please point out things to me. Please comment if you see something that I missed that you feel is important, because I'm sure I missed some things. I'm not perfect. A lot of times I'm used to doing the work. I'm not used to telling people every little detail. But one of the things I did not cover in that video that is very important is your measurements for how much of the cable you want. I did talk about putting at least one loop in your basket and 2 loops in your tray. That's great if you can do that, but the ability for you to do that is dependent upon how much fiber you actually broke out in the cable. So this is more of an intro video to the loose buffer tube breakout video. So on the wall here, you're going to see some little black marks here, down there. I don't know if you can see them, but that says 70 inches. I actually have markings on my wall. I have a 60 inch, 70 inch, and 36 inch, and then I have 0 down at the bottom. And that is a quick way for me to be able to glance over and see how long the cable is I have coming in the door down there at the end of the tray. So right here, that says 70 right there. There's probably about 30 inches here, so that means I have about 100 inches on this tail end. And what I want you to do is whenever you are going to build a closure, this is a CommScope closure. It comes with a manual. This manual actually has a chart that tells you exactly how long your tail ends or your midspan needs to be. Now in the video I did, I was doing tail ends. That's not a midspan, so I'm not going to cover midspan today. I will do a midspan video, but that wasn't covered in that. So it says here for loose buffer tube, which is what this is, non-ribbon, which is what this is, the end, that's what we're doing. And it's a D size closure, the D6 column. It says for a standard basket, which is what I'm working with, not the tall basket, because there's a difference of about 20 inches of extra space you have in a tall basket, according to this chart here. So I'm looking at 102 to 120 inches in a standard basket. So, I'm sorry, that's for midspan. I'm sorry, back that up. End 55 to 75 inches for a tail end. So we're looking at 55 to 75 inches of broken out buffer tubes. I don't have 55 to 75 inches, and I do not plan to use 55 to 75 inches. I've got 100 inches, and the reason for that is you can always, I could have 200 inches. We can still make it work, because once you start fastening it into the closure and then you anchor it into the trays, you're just gonna have a bunch of extra fiber hanging off. So at that point, take all that extra, measure 2 loops in your tray, snip, snip, cut off what you don't need. That's the best way to do it, because that way there's no chance of you being short on fiber. As I've said in previous videos with fiber, it's almost always to have too much rather than too little. If your budget can allow that, because I mean, not everybody can throw, cut off fiber and throw pieces away, because the stuff is expensive. But it's usually much more expensive to have to pay somebody to resplice or butt splice because you didn't run the right amount. Because say you run 144 count, this is just an example of where having too little can cost you more money than having too much. Say you run a span of 144 count, which is what this is, and you think, oh, they only need this much, and you're wrong, and say it was half the amount. Well, now they've got to run a second cable, and they don't just got to run the second cable now. Now they've got to splice those 2 cables together, and that is expensive. Joining those 2 right there, you're talking sometimes $38 a splice, 38 times 144, plus the cost of the closure. Depending on what kind of company you're working with, they might be charging for your generator usage of the trailer, hours put on the trailer, and an hourly rate for them as well. I mean, it literally could be all those costs. That's why it's so important not to hit a fiber optic line that's underground, because it can cost you $20,000, $30,000, $40,000 or more. But I just wanted to do a quick intro to that so you would see how important it is to measure out, or at least have more than what you need. The biggest thing is make sure you don't have too little. But that's that's it, I believe. As far as one of the things I noticed that wasn't in that video that is very important if you're building a closure. I'm going to do another video today on splicing, and I'm actually going to do a close-up where you can actually see everything, and I'm going to try to make it very detailed. Detailed in the manner of what kind of strippers, what kind of splicer, cleaver, what kind of shrink tubes, the micron which is the size of the fiber, and the splice sleeves or heat shrink tubes as well, because those come inside. All these things come in different sizes, and if you're new to this, you're going to look at it and go, whoa, there's 100 different sizes of the shrink tubes. What do I get? So basically, I'm going to go over all that stuff in terms of what I'm using today. That way you can see at least, if you ordered this stuff and did this would work. It's not going to tell you the information about all those different 100 kinds, but it's going to tell you what I did today and what I'm using today and what you need for it to work today. If you have any questions or comments, or if you see anything that I missed in any of the videos that you feel is important that should be covered, please let me know. I'm trying to make the videos more detailed as I go along and refine them, and eventually I want to be able to make it to where the videos contain almost all the information you need to be able to do this kind of work. But again, any questions or comments? Thanks, guys.